Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a story that presents two very, very different futures. It poses a really powerful question. If technology could completely rewrite our bodies, would that be our ultimate liberation or our total control? Let's get into it.
So let me ask you that directly. If the tech was there, if you could change anything about your physical self, what would you choose to be? And we're not just talking about cosmetic changes. We're talking about a fundamental shift in what it means to be human. I mean, just picture a world where that kind of change is a journey you choose to take, where your body isn't a set of limitations, but more like a launch pad for becoming something more, something truly boundless. But then you flip the coin. What if that exact same technology wasn't a choice, but a sentence? A tool that's used to reshape you, not for your own amazing potential, but just for the system's cold efficiency. Suddenly, it's not a doorway. It's a cage.
Okay, so this is where we meet our two protagonists, Osel and Johen, and they live in completely different worlds. Osel, she's an archivist, and for her, change just sort of emerges from within, and she makes a conscious choice to lean into it. But for Johen, a worker, change is an order from on high, a mandate she has absolutely no choice but to obey. So how does something this huge even start? What's the trigger that kicks off these incredible, world-altering transformations? Is it a whisper from within, or is it a decree from the state? For Osel, her journey kicks off with this wild thing called boundary degradation. See, she works with these ambiguous materials, and because of that, her own physical form starts to lose its definition. We're talking literally flickering in and out of existence, glowing from the inside. It's this mysterious, almost natural process. And get this, her cellular continuity score drops all the way to 47%. Just think about that for a second. That means she's almost as much not her as she is her. She is standing right on the razor's edge of becoming something else entirely. Now, for Johen, the catalyst is just brutally bureaucratic. It's called somatic compliance. In her world, which is obsessed with optimization, her body just doesn't meet the government's standards for efficient labor. It's not a mystery, it's a violation, and the so-called correction is mandatory. And the logic the system uses is absolutely chilling. Johen's body isn't seen as human. It's treated like a piece of faulty equipment. Shoulders too narrow, height suboptimal, and the final judgment from the state? Comprehensively useless. Therefore, she must be optimized. So that brings us to the actual process. What does it feel like? For one, it's a journey of transcendence, of metaphysical expansion. For the other, well, it's a state-sanctioned ordeal of physical deconstruction. Osel is lucky enough to have a guide, Merit, who, get this, is actually her own future self. And the process is framed so gently, as an expansion. The whole point isn't to be remade, but to simply let go of having one fixed form and to become more. It's a journey of becoming. Her transformation is really a kind of spiritual training. She learns to remember and hold every version of herself, from child to adult, all at once. And eventually, her own boundaries become so porous that she can hold the forms of others too. She's becoming a living library of what it means to be. And then there's Johen's experience. The reassurance she gets from her technician is terrifying in how clinical it is. Pain isn't something to be avoided. It's just another variable to be managed, to be kept just under the legal line of what the state calls torture. Johen's body is taken apart and rebuilt, piece by systematic piece, all for a single purpose. Bones are reshaped, her spine is shortened, and her pain receptors are surgically dulled. She isn't expanding. She is being reduced to a highly specialized living tool. So after these profound, life-altering changes, what does life even look like? For Osel, it becomes a life of ever-expanding purpose. For Johen, it's a life sentence in a body that isn't even hers anymore. Osel's evolution is just breathtaking. First, she becomes a living map of bodies, then a thinking, feeling clinic for others, and eventually, she becomes part of the city's fundamental infrastructure. Her own identity grows from a person to a place to a foundational system of reality. Johen's fate is the polar opposite. All of her potential, everything she ever was or could have been, is just stripped away. Her new body has one function and one purpose: brutal, dangerous labor, maintaining the city's foundations. And the human cost of this is just immense.
In her community, we hear about a musician whose new hands can't play anymore, a runner whose new frame can't move with grace. They haven't just lost their old bodies, they've lost the very potential to be anything else. But, and this is so important, even here, in this world of absolute total control, something human endures. A little flicker of defiance, a quiet but powerful resistance that starts to grow among the optimized. And this resistance isn't about fighting with weapons. It's about small things, like gathering together when they're not supposed to, sharing tips on how to make their bodies last longer, and most importantly, just remembering that they are people. They hold on to a piece of themselves that the system just cannot touch. Okay, so after exploring these two incredibly different paths, what should we take away from all this? What does this tale of two futures really tell us about our own? At the end of the day, it all comes down to this core contrast, doesn't it? Osel's path is liberation, where the body is a place of infinite possibility. John's path is optimization, where the body is reduced to a tool. It's a future of becoming versus a future of complying. And of course, this isn't just science fiction. When you think about our own technologies, gene editing, cybernetics, the power to truly remake ourselves is slowly moving from the pages of a book towards our actual reality. The power to remake the human body is coming. So the real question this story leaves us with is, for us, which path are we going to choose? Will we use this incredible power to expand what it means to be human? Or will we use it to build a brand new, more efficient architecture of control?